Oh, it's a super mutant taking fire at, what, a scorpion? What are you firing at?
What are we shooting at?
Oh, it's a little target practice at night.
What are we shooting at?
Each other. They were shooting at each other. Oh, no!
Oh, I'm glad that I did. Oh, wait. He said to kill some Legion with it.
Hey!
All right, I have fulfilled his wish.
Marvelous.
I have killed some Legion with this gun.
There are more out there that request deaths.
By some, I mean one. I killed a Legion.
Don't forget to take his 10 ears. Well, I don't know why they all got it.
They all have 10 ears. Oh, he's got a Lewis gun. I want the Lewis gun.
How can you even spot it? It's so dark.
I saw the
out.
giant pan magazine.
You just saw a top-down drum magazine. Doesn't necessarily mean okay. This is just chaos now.
I saw the giant pan magazine. Lewis gun. There it is. Oh, it's a weird Lewis gun. Oh, I don't know if I want it anymore. It doesn't have the giant forced air cooling vent thing.
It was anti-air, I believe it's called.
Yeah, it doesn't have the big forced air cooling vent thingy. It's got the pan magazine, and it's just got a big spade grip on the back. How am I supposed to use this? Oh my god, the mag actually rotates.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now I wish it was an actual, like, legit Lewis gun. And not like the... Oh.
Well, you can pretend.
I love that.
It's pretty awesome. Why is this super... Why?
I need to save the Brahmin.
We're gonna find out that his sweet cheeks and the owner died. Oh no, poor Mojo.
All right, I saved the Brahmin. Brahmin, you've been saved.
Enjoy your new life here in the...
You don't want to stand in the in whatever that is.
Oh,
Why
no,
wasn't he using? He had a super sledge, wasn't using it. Had a super stick grenade, wasn't using it. What a goober.
What's a super stick grenade?
I don't know. Let's take a look.
Is it a...
Oh, okay.
All
So
right.
It's a stick grenade from World War II where they stuck a bunch of heads of other stick grenades to it to make it into one big stick grenade.
Does that make it a cluster grenade?
No, because it's just all gonna blow up at once.
Oh.
Do you know why Europeans used stick grenades and the British and Americans used baseball style grenades?
Because they were big into baseball, but stick grenades gave you more leverage to throw?
No, it's because they practiced axe throwing traditionally in those countries, and in our countries we practice ball sports.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. I didn't realize axe throwing was so popular.
I mean, I wouldn't say that it was like super popular, but it was the concept of throwing a stick-shaped object made more sense to them than the concept of throwing a ball-shaped object.
Huh, fascinating.
On this one, there's no like safety lever, and there's no pin. What there is there's a round cap at the bottom. Yeah, there we go. So at the bottom of this, you can see down there. You unscrew that, and contained within is a little ceramic bead, or a little glass bead, on a cord. Okay. And the way that this works is you pull that cord, and it basically activates a friction fuse that starts the timer on the grenade itself.
Alright.
I want to see if there's another version of the Lewis gun.
We could try to check out the different arms dealers, but
you know what? I'm gonna make a quick stop to Gun Runners, and then we can continue then we can do something.
Other stuff. All right.
Yeah, I'm also gonna go to Gun Runners to sell a bunch of the bullshit that I'm carrying.
You got a lot.
And I know a lot of these. I don't know what the 45 tactical pistol is. I'm interested in seeing that.
Yeah, it might be some new things here. A bullpup shotgun, you say?
I mean, I'm very familiar. Yeah, look, there's the Pancor Jackhammer. Haha.
No one's gonna bring it up.
They added a law to this game? You got the multi-rocket launcher, which is the, how much is one of those? 4,000?
It's pricey for a reason. It's a lot of fun to fire.
Ooh.
Or a multi-grenade launcher.
It's funny that they gave him the eye patch.
From, demo.
From Team Fortress 2, because that's basically what the Demo Man's grenade launcher is. Oh my god, this stuff is expensive.
You're currently spending 18,000 of your 311,000.
That I originally came here to sell stuff.
That's true.
Come back and see us again soon.
I will probably be back in like 30 seconds. Isaac is just like, oh my god, this fucking dude is back again. He shows up, he looks at all the guns, he never fucking buys anything.
You just bought like 7 guns.
He never fucking buys anything. The 45 tactical pistol, what is that? Oh, it's a USP.
Oh, I guess I haven't seen that before.
Oh, so yeah, it's a H&K USP 45.
Those are nice.
Yeah, it's interesting that they call it the tactical pistol when it's not the USP 45 tactical. It's just a standard USP.
You can tell the difference?
Yeah, the USP 45 tactical has suppressor height sights, a threaded barrel.
More tactical gear.
Yeah, it's set up to put a suppressor on the end of it.
Ah.
And then they make it have a really weird thread pitch because H&K.
I like it though. I like that gun.
I like the USP's great. I love the USP.
Yeah.
Apparently in Germany when they were designing the USP, they were designing it in 40 Smith & Wesson first.
Okay.
Because it was designed in the late 80s, early 90s. They were designing a gun for the American market. Because USP stands for Universal Self-Loading Pistol. Or, is it...
The German equivalent of those words.
Universal Selbstlade Pistola, I think. They jokingly referred to it as the US pistol. Because they were making it for the US market. So it was the US pistol.
I see, that's why.
But yeah, they're built like a fucking tank. Because they were originally designed for 40 Smith & Wesson. And then they were like, well, why don't we scale one up to 45, like the Mark 23 SOCOM, and why don't we make one in 9mm as well?
Okay.
Which they did. So the USP is interesting because it is not a smaller Mark 23 SOCOM. It is its own thing. It looks similar to the Mark 23 SOCOM. It did, I believe, they used similar design cues, but they were designed at the same time, mostly independent from each other. The USP is not derived from the Mark 23 SOCOM. They are similar, but they are not the same. It has the universal accessory rail on the bottom of it, which is, it's technically a rail, but it definitely ain't universal.
You can slide a flashlight on there, I guess.
No, you can't.
No?
There's like 2 flashlights that are designed to mount to that rail. Because it's not a Picatinny rail.
No.
It's not, it's its own proprietary rail. And there are 2 flashlights that work with that rail. One of them is like 150 lumens, and the other one is straight up like 50 lumens, and it's incandescent.
Don't get that one, get the other one.
It sucks.
You can't.
It's a vibe. It looks good on there.
It does.
But it sucks. It's a terrible light.
What else could you put on there if not a flashlight?
There are rail adapters, but the rail adapters aren't very good.
What else could you put on there that's useful? A laser sight?
No, like a rail adapter. That's really the only other thing you can put on there, and then you can put whatever you want if you put a Picatinny rail adapter. When I went to SHOT Show at the beginning of the year, I was talking to one of the H&K guys at SHOT Show, and I asked them, I already know the answer to this question, but why don't you make a version of the USP with a normal Picatinny rail on it? And the guy at H&K was basically just like, it's because it's a legacy system. Like, they're not willing to invest time and money into designing a whole new frame when we already have everything is set up to produce this USP. And because we make the P30 and the VP9, nobody's really interested in buying a new version of a USP with a rail on it when they could just go buy a P30.
Because those have Picatinny rail systems?
Yeah, those have a Picatinny rail on them.
Gotcha.
And like, for all intents and purposes, a P30 is basically a redesigned USP.
All right.
They're pretty much the same. They function almost the same way. Again, while I was at SHOT Show, so Leon's pistol, the SG09R, in the original Resident Evil 4, his pistol was like a mishmash of a USP, and then it had like Beretta grips on it. It was just a bunch of stuff that they had like slapped together. In the Resident Evil 4 remake, they just made it straight up a USP 9.
Okay.
But they did 2 very specific things to it. One of them is three technically, because one of them is they added finger grooves to it, which, whatever. One is they added a Picatinny rail to the bottom.
Okay.
And the other one is they added a compensator to the end of the gun. But the interesting thing about the compensator in the Resident Evil 4 remake is the compensator is apparently attached either to the guide rod or the frame. It isn't attached to the barrel. When Leon reloads the gun from slide lock, you can see the barrel not touching the compensator.
Okay. Which
is really cool that they like completely redesigned the front of it. Anyway, while I was at SHOT Show, I had talked to one of the HK guys. I was like, this is probably a long shot, but have you played the remake of Resident Evil 4? And he was like, I watched his eyes get really big, and he's like, dude, they did such a cool gun in that game. And I was like, I know, make that gun, make Leon's gun from Resident Evil 4. And it's like me and this HK employee are like nerding. He's like, when that game came out, I took screenshots of the gun in game, and I was going around to the office being like, can we make this? Can we make this gun?
That's awesome.
Which is really funny to me. That even the HK employee was like, I want to make the Leon's gun from Resident Evil 4.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things that I hear a lot from like gun people is like, oh well, they should just do this. They could just do this, and then the gun would work better. But the problem with a lot of like firearms design is that so much of it is iterative. Of you design something on a gun, you change something, and then that introduces like 6 other problems that you didn't know were going to happen. So now you have to figure out how to fix those 6 problems that just came up because you like, I don't know, you added a slight scallop to the ejection port on the pistol. There's all kinds of stuff like that happens. So
you can just put it on a plate if you're that hungry.
Adding a Picatinny rail to the mold that makes the USP frame is probably more difficult than you would think it would be, even if it's literally only financially difficult. And then I understand why they haven't put a rail on the bottom of it. I still want them to. Yeah. I'm still kind of grumpy about it, but like I understand why they don't have a rail.
You can add a Picatinny rail system without interfering with the existing universal rail system.
You don't know that. Well, okay, you're talking about just like adding a Picatinny rail to the base. Yeah, like doing that as an end user. Yes, redesigning the entire gun to add a Picatinny rail could possibly introduce weird problems with it. That was the point I was bringing up. Also, what's really funny is that apparently this gun is a 45 in game, but it says 9mm on the slide. I realized that earlier, and then I didn't say anything else.
Gotcha. I just tweaked it.
Bullpup assault shotgun. Oh, is this the?
It's a gun.
No, this is the HK CAWS. Oh, okay. So it's the HK CAWS.
This is not a good floor to be looking at guns on. Everything just blends in.
Yeah. So it's the HK CAWS. It's just missing the optic on the top of it. I might actually use this.
All right.
It's weird because it has the high standard Model 10 carry handle and rear sight on it, which the high standard Model 10 is another bullpup shotgun. And again, the shotgun is a fucking vibe, but it's a massive piece of shit. It does not work well.
A gun like this got me through the Capital Wasteland. It can't be all bad.
No, I mean the high standard Model 10 is kind of a piece of shit. This, I have no idea if this is, because this is another one of those things where it's like a prototype shotgun. They didn't make very many, or if any of them. I like the chunky sights. I love chunky sights. And the next one we've got, of course, the Pancor Jackhammer. Look, here it is. Wow, Pancor Jackhammer.
Is it a different model?
Yeah, they made a slightly different model of it.
Okay.
Again, anytime...
Oh, it's wood. There's more wood on it than I'm used to.
Yeah. I don't care that people bring this up. I care that they bring it up specifically to piss me off.
Right.
Like, they're specifically trying to make me angry.
I feel like most people have learned not to do that.
No, it still happens quite a bit. I will admit, the weird cuts in the cylinder, those are for advancing the cylinder, because basically when the bolt moves backwards, it manipulates a lever that rides along a track, and the track moves along that zigzag pattern, which advances the cylinder to the next cartridge.
Oh, all right.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
If you've ever looked at how a click pen works, you're converting lateral movement into rotational movement, which is really cool.
Yeah.
The Webley Fosbury uses a very similar thing to advance the cylinder every time it fires.
Okay. Yeah, it's got a very distinct profile.
It has a very distinct profile and shape to it. If it was more than a tool room prototype, I think it would actually would have merit. But like, it isn't. It's just a tool room prototype.
Yep.
I don't know why they did it like that. Yeah, that's a cylinder. I bought one of these. I didn't buy 17.
Okay. He sells them in bulk.
I bought one law. I didn't buy... Oh, they actually put the little reticle on there.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's so cool. The law rocket launcher is sick. They're really neat. Yeah, the Law rocket launcher is really cool. I wonder if it'll be collapsed when I drop it. Nope, it's just fully open.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, the Law is a really cool rocket launcher. It's light anti-tank weapon is what Law stands for.
Oh.
It's a single-use rocket launcher.
Aren't all rocket launchers anti-tank weapons?
No, because it depends on the warhead you have in it. Now, I don't remember if it's a high explosive dual purpose or if it is a explosively formed projectile. My guess is it's probably an EFP and not just an HEDP.
Those are letters, all right.
Well, I said what they stood for.
Yeah, it's a lot of letters is all.
Yeah, they're really neat. I've never gotten to fire a Law. The thing that's interesting to me is that it was implemented in, like, the Vietnam War, is when the Law was, like, first introduced. And we still use it because they work really well.
Oh.
They're effective. They work. There is, like, the AT4, which is the newer one, but because this is so much smaller than an AT4, and it packs down into, like, this whole body of the tube slides up into it. I had
I had one in my house.
No, so I had... I like that you open it. I had a inert Law tube. So once you fire the Law, you can't do anything else with it. It's just a tube. It's a fiberglass tube at that point.
You can't reuse it?
Nope. They're not reloadable. They're not I mean, I'm sure that at the factory they could reload it.
Yeah, bring it back to the factory, recycle it.
But, like, the intent was you basically fire the rocket launcher and then just dump it somewhere, and now you don't have to carry it anymore.
Okay.
Because there's really nothing you personally can do with it anymore. Or anybody else, for that matter.
I can forgive going to war, but littering, it's a bridge too far.
So I had an inert Law tube at one point, and that's because while I was in the Army, I was at the company headquarters one day, standing around doing nothing, as you do. They were like, we need help cleaning stuff out of, like, the supply room. So I was helping to clean stuff out of the supply room, and basically I would go up there and talk to the supply sergeant, and the supply sergeant would be like, yeah, go throw this in the dumpster. These go over here, blah, 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 blah. And there was a Law tube, and I saw it, and I was just like, there's a rocket launcher in here. And they're like, oh, that's empty. I said, okay, well, what do you want me to do with it? And they said, oh, destroy it and throw it away. And I went, okay. Walked out to my car, threw it in the trunk of my car.
Of course you
Came
did.
back in. The other thing I got was I found literally a box of, like, 30 20-round AR-15 magazines that were marked Armalite 15 or Colt AR-15. They were, like, Vietnam-era 20-round magazines from, like, the 60s to, like, maybe in, like, the 80s.
Fun vintage collectible.
And again, I was like, what do you want me to do with these? They said, destroy them and throw them away. And I went, okay, and put it in the trunk of my car.
You didn't get in trouble. They gave you a direct order to destroy it.
Yeah, I'll destroy them eventually, at some point. I'll destroy them by using them. Yeah, and then in, like, 2014... there was a big magazine panic buy. Everybody was buying all the magazines. Magazines were like $50 a piece.
Really?
It was insane. I sold most of those Vietnam-era 20-round magazines for $80 a piece.
Dang, all right.
Like, I made so much money off of those magazines. Oh, that's fun. You do like the little... Oh, I wanted to go back.
You're crouched. You're not going to get in trouble for admitting that, are you? Yeah, they told me to destroy this stuff, this military equipment. But I didn't. I took it, and then I sold it on the black market.
It wasn't the black market. That was a totally normal,
I sold it on the
market.
Facebook market.
Yeah. I know it's in the wrong order, but what I was going to do... this, which is an M202 Flash.
Oh, yeah, I was playing around with that a while back. It reminded me of the quad launcher from Ratchet Going Commando.
It also is the rocket launcher that's at the end of Resident Evil, the first one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You take down the tyrant-looking thing with it.
So, while the previous one was a Buddy Chicken spotting for me, he's telling me if back blast area is clear.
Nice.
He's about to tell me that back blast area is clear, even though he knows damn well that you're standing back there.
What a bastard chicken.
Yeah. I love you, Buddy Chicken. While the previous one that we looked at was non-reusable, this one holds 4 shots, and it is reloadable. So this is actually the previous one.
Yeah, it's not right.
The previous one, when you were finished with it, you just throw it away. This one, you have to keep it because you can just reload another clip of rockets into the back of it.
The
and
fact that
yes,
it's called a clip
yes,
of rockets.
it is actually a clip of rockets. It is actually a clip because there is basically a single piece of metal that holds all 4 rockets together.
That's silly.
It's very silly. We're gonna
Know what's
launch
in
it.
there.
Neat.
I'm a big fan of that weapon.
Well, so similar story to the me having the. Oh, God damn it. Similar story to me having the M79. I was at infantry company at one point.
And they said, give these rockets to 3 people.
No, someone found an M202 Flash sitting around. Not in the arms room. It didn't have the rockets for it, so it's just the launcher. But they found the thing, and they were like, oh, yeah, this is great. I'm going to, like, bring it home, and I'm going to put it above my bed or something. And me, the fun ruiner, went, you know that's a serialized item, right? They're like, what? You know it's a serialized item. Well, shoot, I can't bring it home then. Oh, wait, I'm going to go tell the LT. This is going to ruin his whole day. They went and told the LT. That was still on their serial books. That was still, like, it was a serialized item that they basically had not had accountability of for, like, 20 years.
Oh, no.
And now the LT has to figure out what the fuck he's going to do with this beat-to-shit old piece of crap rocket launcher that we don't fucking use anymore.
I thought you were about to tell me in the story that you told him it was a serialized item, and he went, oh, I'll get the nail file. And then he filed off the serial number.
No.
And then took it home.
Oh, okay, so I did look at it, okay.
And cradled it in his arms because he loved it.
What is the Gunrunner's service rifle?
It's got a Picatinny rail on it, I can see that.
Is it? Oh my god, I think this is the... Is this the gun? You know the first episode we recorded where I was talking about how I had an Avesky fire pig on the end of it?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this is it. I'm pretty sure it's modeled literally off of that. Oh, is this a Remington? Hang on.
I don't remember, it was so long ago.
I'm pretty sure it's based off of that, but the handguard on this is, I'm 99% positive, is one of the Remington defense handguards. It's not M-Lock, it's not Picatinny. It has Picatinny on the top, but it's not M-Lock, it's not Picatinny. It uses a different type of, like, threaded insert. Magpul armament. This might be one that, like, Magpul built for somebody, but like I said, I'm pretty sure that is a, Remington defense handguard, though I could be wrong. There's a lot of shapes that get stuck in my head.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of Magpul stuff on it. So you got a Magpul AFG, you got a Magpul 20 round, straight 20 round magazine.
It is a busy looking weapon.
You've got a Magpul grip, you've got the Magpul UBR stock. Interestingly, if you have any of these straight 20 round Magpul magazines, collectors are paying a lot of money for those. Oh. So, you know, just letting you know.
Where's the Navesky fire pig?
It's the thing on the end of the barrel.
Oh, the choke?
No, it's not a choke, it's a muzzle device.
Okay.
It's basically the way it works is...
It eats the fire like a pig does.
No, it's kind of actually derived from a Russian booster that goes on the end of a short-barreled rifle.
Is it called a fire pig because it looks like a pig's mouth?
No, it's called a fire pig because it's supposed to, like, shoot flames out of the end of it, but it kind of doesn't really do that. Despite the fact that it is called a fire pig. The way it works, you have the body of the muzzle device, so there's where the barrel would... Wow, that line did not work. There's where the barrel would go into.
Just a little crack, like the Liberty Bell.
And then you have a second piece that threads into the end of it that is a cone that goes like this on the inside of it.
That's inside the barrel, eh?
So it's inside the muzzle device.
Okay, so you stretched out the muzzle device a little bit.
I stretched it out a little bit. It's not actually that long. The way this works is when the bullet goes out of here, basically gas pressure builds up in this, which sends more gas pressure down the barrel to help the gun cycle better. It's really designed for guns that have a very short barrel, because when you have an AR-15 barrel, or when you have just a gun barrel, I'm just going to do this. On an AR-15, you have the gas port, and then you have the gas tube that goes back into the gun.
Right.
The only time pressure is traveling through the gas tube and going back to operate the gun is when the bullet has passed the gas port on the barrel. If you cut the barrel down to, like, there, if you cut the barrel down so it's really short, you have the gas tube right here. There's barely any time for gas pressure to travel through this back into the gun. So you put the booster on the end of it, So that's the entire point of a booster, is it's to make the gun function reliably, because if you just chop off the end of a barrel, like right in front of the gas block on an AR-15, it's not going to function great.
Yeah, all the gas from the explosion will just go out the end of the barrel with the bullet.
Yeah.
So that's why they slapped that on.
Yep, it does also act as a flash hider, but yeah. Hunting shotgun, MP5. I think I found this earlier. I don't remember if I looked at it. Yay! MP5 suppressed. I want an MP5 suppressed.
Don't you already have an MP5?
I do have an MP5, but I want the MP5 SD.
Uh-huh.
I do have an MP5. I don't have this MP5.
Okay.
I have MP5, but not this MP5.
I had that MP5 in airsoft form. Mine had burst fire though, so it just had 3 bullets, unlike that one, which has full auto, which shows 7 bullets or so.
So MP5s, they have different trigger groups for them, and the neat thing about the MP5 is that it's kind of modular in that you can swap out different trigger groups.
Huh.
So the thing on there that's got the little cutouts with the bullets on it, I forget what module that one is called, but that one is the one that has semi-auto and then full auto on it. There's other modules. There's like one that's semi-auto and then burst fire. There's one that's semi-auto, burst fire, full auto. There's one that's a 2-round burst.
That's odd.
So it's like semi-auto, 2-round burst. There's another one that is referred to as the, I believe the FBI trigger module, and that one just only has semi-auto on it.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
Which is it's just a semi-auto trigger module.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a bunch of different trigger modules that you can like kind of swap out for whatever.
Wouldn't have expected the lower receiver to be modular.
The thing is, I would not call it a lower receiver on an MP5. Oh, that's the wrong one. So the thing about the MP5 is the trigger group is not what I would consider to be a lower receiver. There is just the receiver on the MP5. It's just the thing with the magazine sticking out of it, and then directly above where all the dots are, all the way to the back, and then the top part with the barrel, and then the cocking piece. That is what I would consider to be the receiver. This is just the trigger mechanism.
I guess I'm used to the trigger mechanism being part of a lower receiver.
Yeah,
but
different guns are set up differently.
Okay.
So, and then when I found the Marine carbine, Marine combat rifle. It's a Bren 805? That's weird that they're calling this the Marine combat rifle when it's a CZ805 Bren.
It's a cool weapon.
It's just weird to me because the Marine carbine is an M4, the Marine service rifle is an M16A2, and then the Marine combat rifle is a CZ Bren?
Yeah, I don't know.
All right. Mercenary assassin pistol. Oh, it's the Makarov PB. It's an integrally suppressed Makarov.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're actually pretty cool.
The Makarov peanut butter.
I think integrally suppressed guns are neat. It's got a giant chunky suppressor on it. I love how big and stupid the iron sights are. The Makarov is a fixed barrel handgun, so it's pretty easy. You just attach like the world's shortest barrel to the end of it, and then the barrel just kind of terminates, and then it's just a suppressor on the end.
If it gets the job done.
Yeah, they're neat. Why does it say I have 17 of the Milcor MGL 140?
Because it was a 17-pack?
This is the one thing that I don't like about grenade launchers, is that you don't actually... Fallout New Vegas was not set up to have you aim at the different points on there for what the different ranges would be. It wasn't set up to do that. Mm-hmm. The only game I've seen that actually does that is, I'm pretty sure, Arma. Arma is the only game that when you adjust the range you are aiming for, it actually adjusts where you are aiming on the grenade launcher. I think.
Well, the model looks nice.
Because normally what you would do is you would aim on the grenade launcher and then you would line up with the front sight, or I believe on this grenade launcher, it's actually the end of the barrel. Normally that's how you would line that up. I don't know where to here. I'll shoot this into that abandoned building over there.
You hope it's abandoned, all right.
That is the shortest distance grenade launcher I have ever seen in my entire life. That was like, what, 5 meters that went?
Not very far, no. I could probably throw it farther. Yeah.
Like, I'm putting an angle on this that should be like a 300-meter shot, and it's going to maybe the 25-meter mark.
Yeah. That's about as far as it goes. Fun animation, though.
The Milcor MGL is really cool. I love this grenade launcher. Oh, that's so weird. Like the speed loader is still being. Okay, I need to start at the back because this is the first thing that I thought was weird. It has, for some reason, the stock off of the, and I'm gonna try to get this as correct as possible. The Panzerbücher 39, which is a World War II German anti-tank rifle. It's a foldable stock. Okay. Like those two things fold inwards.
Seems weird, yeah.
And it's got a big leather pad on it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It has a wood grip for some reason. The thing that I just noticed that I thought was really weird is the speed loader is still being rendered in there. I don't know why.
Yeah, it might be a glitch.
The speed loader should not be wow, they actually modeled rifling.
Oh yeah.
The reason I think the Milcore MGL 140 is really cool is obviously it's a 6-shot rotary grenade launcher. So
that inherently makes it
obviously
awesome.
That makes it cool.
Yeah.
The thing that's really neat is it's basically a spring-loaded wind-up mechanism on the inside of it. So when you reload the grenade launcher, you dump out all the empty shell casings. Oh, you actually do it in this. That's really cool. So in real life, you would probably rotate it a couple more times than that. And basically, you're rotating it the opposite direction that it spins and winding up the giant clock spring that's on the inside of it, so that every time you pull the trigger, it releases a little pawl on it and lets it go and rotate one over.
So that's why it rotates.
Yeah, it rotates. It isn't, because if you had to rotate it by pulling the trigger, like on a revolver, the way the cylinder rotates is you pulling the trigger moves a tiny arm which rotates the cylinder over. If pulling the trigger had to rotate this giant cylinder with 6 40mm grenades in it, that would be an absolutely miserable trigger pull.
Yeah.
So, I'm not saying that this thing has an amazing trigger pull, but it definitely isn't that bad. I love the MGL 140. They do actually make a speed loader for it. I don't know if I've ever seen anyone use it because the speed loader is massive.
Yeah.
So it's easier just to drop 6 grenades in there.
Ranch shotgun, eh?
Ranch shotgun. I think it's a Winchester Model 12. And if I remember correctly, these were actually in, like, U.S. military inventory. Oh, yeah, look at it. It's actually marked US 8.
US 8? No, but from USA, not US 8.
Well, okay, so the thing I'm wondering is a lot of U.S. shotguns, especially during World War II, because the Winchester Model 12 stands for 1912, a lot of U.S. shotguns were stamped with a thing called an ordnance bomb. U.S. weapons were stamped with a thing called an ordnance bomb. And it's a little bomb with a flame coming out of the top of it. So I wonder if they saw that and thought it was an 8.
Or maybe it was just easier to type 8 because no one would be able to look at it that closely.
Yeah, no one's gonna... I'm like one of the only people that's ever going to look at it that close. The interesting thing... So you notice that it's got like this like collar right here, and then this lug that's attached to the collar.
Sure.
On the pump and the barrel. That is because this is a takedown shotgun. You can take the entire barrel, pump, and magazine assembly off the shotgun to put it into a pack that is basically as long as from the back of the stock to the front of the receiver.
Oh, all right. Wow.
You can break it down and put it into 2 pieces.
Impressive.
The way you do that is there is a pin on the magazine tube. It's that one right there. That little pin. Normally it goes all the way through to the other side. But you push the pin out, you grab the magazine tube and rotate it to unscrew it from the receiver.
Okay.
Pull the pump forwards, and then the entire barrel and pump and magazine tube assembly just drop out of the receiver. It's really cool that it actually breaks down like that. People didn't really use it very often, but it's really cool that it does that.
Yeah, it seems very cool, and it's got a lot of holes on the top.
Yeah, it's a heat shield.
Yeah.
Shotgun barrels get hot. And because it has the heat shield, because you also have a bayonet lug that was added to it. So if you need to put a bayonet on the end of your shotgun. And then that way, if you have to grab onto the front of the shotgun to use the bayonet on it, you don't burn the hell out of your hand.
Ah, I see.
That's why the heat shield is out there
I feel like if you're close enough to use a bayonet, you'd probably just fire the shotgun at them.
Yes, but what if your shotgun is out of ammo?
Then you turn the firearm around and you shove the very hot barrel into their face.
I would rather just stab them with a bayonet. You're a Marine. Why aren't you foaming at the mouth at the mere mention of a bayonet? Oh my God! It actually says it on there. Winchester Model 12. Wow, I was right.
Wow,
it has cylinder choke.
Low resolution, but yeah, you can
Dude,
see it.
holy crap, they put everything on there. Yeah, Winchester, Model 12, 12 gauge, CYL means cylinder, so it's a non-choked shotgun.
Very nice.
It's just cylinder, which is just what it would normally be.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's some camera shake.
Yeah,
Okay, I was gonna try to use this, but I don't know if I'll be able to.
a bit violent.
One of the other interesting things about this shotgun, oh, that's kind of cute that you do that. Oh, that's fun.
You just put your thumb up there.
Yeah, you put your thumb and feel how much tension there is on it to whether or not it's loaded. Because I'm sure that if you did enough practice with a shotgun, you could tell how many shells there are based on how much spring tension was pushing it back against your finger. But like, you can tell the difference between a full and an empty shotgun, because usually the follower has a different feel than a shotgun shell. And you probably could tell the difference. I probably could tell the difference between a full shotgun and one that only has one round in the magazine too. But beyond that, I don't know. It's a Russian machine gun. I think it's like the OTS 38 or something.
Okay.
I can't remember the name of it.
That look bad.
Oh, OT 33. Yeah, OTS 33 Pernash.
Pernash.
It says it's in 45, but it's actually in 9mm. It's in 9mm Makarov, but still, it's in 9mm. This thing is massive for a 9mm. Well, I'm gonna go sell a bunch of the crap that I don't need to carry around.
Welcome, valued customer. We have a new shipment of firearms.
Yay!
in
More
time.
guns! Alright, buy that. Well, no, you can't sell gun parts on Facebook Marketplace.
Also, it wasn't.
That's
Facebook
why you
Market-
see a lot of people selling pens on Facebook Marketplace with a bunch of magazines behind them.
Oh.
Or like no, I'm just kidding.
Didn't realize. I don't think Facebook Marketplace was big back in 2014.
No. It didn't even exist back in 2014.
People were still using Craigslist.
And people still do use Craigslist.
I tried to use Craigslist a few months back. You can't do it anymore. You get so much spam the moment you put your phone number up there. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Mark Zuckerberg just got these bot farms running to sabotage the competition. Gotta use Facebook Marketplace. Craigslist don't work now.